What's up, George? What's going on in the House of Craze tonight?
In the house Craze tonight, we have Mr. Michael Gotti, Earth's Best Entertainment. He's going to be talking to us about his book, and we're going to be talking about when to call it quits.
Whoa, that's just
Hmm.
crazy. Let's get it.
We are the only show for independents all around, giving you a platform to spread your word all over town. Catch the Craze is the place to promote to your fans with the Dreamer, Medina, and Sam the Crazy Man. Subscribe to our show and never miss an episode. It's time to get your mans, listen to us on the go. Updated every week, we never miss a day. Join the squad, come on in. It's time to catch the Craze. If you are an independent, catch the Craze. Making moves on your own, catch the Craze. On your grind in the streets, catch the Craze. Join the movement, catch the Craze.
Yeah, George, we did it again. Come on now. You know you want to do it. Catch the Craze. Welcome to Catch the Craze podcast. I'm your host with the most, Sam the Crazy Man Vera, and I am with
George, the Dreamer, Medina. What's happening, everyone? Welcome to another exciting episode of Catch the Craze. We are airing today is what is it? Friday, July 22nd. Damn,
Jeez.
the summer, bro. The summer. We're in the middle of a heat wave right now, and
I know.
we it's been a minute. But if you haven't done so yet, please make sure you subscribe, hit the like button, comment below, hit the bell so that you know when we're going live. But today we got a good show, brother. What's going on with you?
What's going on with you, bro? You were like,
Yeah.
oh, you were like frolicking in the Riviera. What's going
Listen,
on with you?
we
What's
we
up? You look
we,
younger.
we
You
talked
know?
about that. We talked about that yesterday.
No, we didn't talk about. The fans want to know.
That
What was
was
George was
well.
in
Well,
you were
listen,
in where you say you were in Milos?
Milos.
Milos. I don't
Yeah,
yeah, Milos. What the hell? Where's
Milos.
Milos? It's not around the
Milos.
corner. I can't go to it. So where is that?
It's in the Greek islands. It's one of the Greek islands,
Oh,
Milos.
it's just in the Greek
Ve-
islands.
Very
Right
nice.
over there.
Very nice area. Yo, dude, it's gorgeous, bro. It is gorgeous. It is like if you want a nice vacation, relaxing vacation, you got to go out there, bro. Milos. I'm sorry, I'm
How was
reaching
the
for my.
food?
Oh, delicious. It
Yeah,
was great. You like seafood, right?
I love seafood.
You like seafood? You like squid?
I like
He's like, I like.
calamari.
Oh yeah, you know. Well, it's yeah, no, their squid is delicious, bro. Their
No, no,
squid,
no,
the
yeah.
fish,
Like
like
like like raw squid?
no
Oh,
grilled, man. What
well,
am I,
I
a
never had
savage?
grilled squid. I had calamari.
Yeah. It's very similar, very similar.
Yeah.
Similar texture.
Yeah. No, I like baked clams. I like
Oh
oysters.
yeah, oh man,
Yeah.
delicious. Like all of that stuff. Like the food is just so fresh.
Damn. Did you
You
guys
know,
go to the beach?
oh, all day, every day, every day. The water just ridiculous, bro. Like I'm like up to here deep in water, and you can see your feet. Like, and you remember we talked about it's like when you
Yeah.
went to the Maldives. Like
Yeah.
it was like similar, just beautiful, just clear water, dude. It was crazy.
Did you have were you in a hotel or a bungalow?
No, we stayed. We had we rented like a house, like because I went with my girl's family, so we rented like a just a little house.
Did you guys
And
take turn cooking?
no, we went out every night.
What
We
for
just
breakfast?
I don't know for breakfast we croissants and
Ah,
nothing
oh,
crazy. It was like Greek yogurt, fruits and stuff like that. And then we
yeah,
were out. We were out and about, just doing our thing. And we had
nice.
lunch. Lunch at like the beach had this little nice little tavern, like this little place right up the exercise. Because okay, so the beach was on the top of like this cliff. No, the beach was at the bottom, but at the top of the cliff was the tavern. So we would go down to the beach, and it was like these steps, dude, like all the way down to the beach. And then for lunch, like we'd go up. People have
Work up that appetite.
work it out, and then boom, their chicken was delicious. Like the grilled chicken, like the way they prepared everything,
It was like Popeyes.
fresh, bro. Hell no, grilled. Everything was grilled. It was clean eating, bro. It was like meat, like it was
Yeah,
clean.
yeah, yeah. Exactly. That's how.
It's
Yeah.
clean, dude. I'm
You
like,
realize how what you realize how much of a peasant you are when you when you when you come from US and you go to these countries and you're eating healthy. You have fresh
healthy.
water, fresh food.
And it's not even like you're trying to eat healthy. That's just
Right.
what they eat. Like
Yeah.
it's just their diet. You know what I mean? Greek
Yeah.
salads every day. Like it's just greens and a lot of just
I love Greek salads.
oh yeah, with like the feta cheese or the
Oh,
goat cheese or whatever.
olives.
Like oh the olives, yeah, the olives. I mean,
They have anchovies
yeah,
on yeah.
yeah, on anchovies. I mean, it was just delicious. Like the food, and you know what's crazy? Because I'm not a big, I wasn't like a big Greek food person here in the States because I guess it tastes different.
Right.
But over there, bro, like
No.
all that stuff, it
Because
was just delicious.
American waters down what because when it comes from the place of origin,
Oh yeah,
there's a, a special kind of love that's put into the food,
right,
you
right,
know,
right.
and care. Where in the U.S. it's just about mass production and
It's
just
mass
getting it done.
production, bro.
Yeah,
It's get it out, get it out. Fast food is king. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
over there, over there, it wasn't about fast food. Like people ate at 10 o'clock at night. Like we were eating mad late. You know, like it was just, and no, everybody took the time. Nobody was in a rush. You'd be sitting in a restaurant. The waiters wouldn't even come over to be, are you okay? You need something? No, they were like, just let them do their thing.
yeah.
You know,
That's awesome.
just chill. It was just like a different vibe. It was good. Everything was
So
by the
you
water.
were a week in London and then a week in Greece.
We were in London for about 5 days, because there was a wedding there, and then from there we flew out. So we flew out to Athens. But what happens is, so Milos is like a little island outside of Athens. But to get there, you can only get there through a propeller plane. Like
Yeah,
it's a tiny little
yeah.
airport. So the day we went, the winds were too strong, so we couldn't land in Milos. So they canceled our flight. So we had to spend a night in Athens. So we stayed in Athens for
Did
a
they
night.
comp you?
Yeah, yeah, they did all that. But it was a pain in the ass because we just
Right.
wanted to go. Like we had,
Yeah.
there's a ferry that goes from Athens to Milos. It's like a 3 hour ferry ride, but we had missed it for the day, so we had to spend a night in Athens, and then the next morning we took the ferry out to the and it was a nice little. It wasn't a little ferry. It was like a huge ship with like, because cars can get in. Like
Right.
it's like think of the ferry here in the Staten Island ferry. No, it's like 3 times the size of that thing.
Damn.
And so we were just boom, 3 hours, got there, and we rented these ATVs. So we were driving around
Oh,
in ATVs. Yeah.
nice.
We drove around in ATVs the whole time
Did you
because
drive it and you held on to the back?
no, no. I asked her to, but she refused. I drove. I had to drive. So yeah, it was cool, bro. We were out there, boom, doing that thing, and the streets are tiny. Everything's small.
It's crazy.
I don't know how some of these people drove in those places,
How
but
was the architecture?
gorgeous. Like it was just, it's an old city, man. It's like we went to this place called what is it called? It was Klima. It's a place called Klima, and it's almost like it's so weird. It was like, it's like a city right on the ocean, like it's right on the sea, right on the Mediterranean, and it's all colorful houses and stuff like that. It's been around forever, and like the people who live there, it's almost like going to what's the channels in Venice, like you know what I mean, where it's just on the water kind of thing.
Right.
Gorgeous. And so yeah, it's just, you see all these old houses and stuff like that. The architecture, everything is brick, everything is just cement, like like it's just these white houses
Yeah.
with blue doors and everywhere. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. We went to so in Milos is where they discovered the statue of
Mhm.
Venus de Milos, like the one with no arms. You
Yes.
ever see that
Yeah.
Roman? So that they discovered it there. So we went to the place where it was discovered and stuff like that. Like this, just rich in history. We saw one of the first amphitheaters was there that they had, that was buried, and just gorgeous. Just you forget how old the world is. You know what I mean? Like it's been
Wow.
around forever. So it's so good, man. You definitely have to take a trip out there, dude. It's such a nice just getaway. And
Nice.
the phones barely work out there, so you're disconnected. You're like disconnected from the world, and
Unless
it's
you're like
nice.
me and you get a global account.
Well, yeah, I mean, you have to, at this point, you have to have it, right? They
You
charge you
have
like
to have a
$2 a day or
when I
whatever.
was in the I had to get a global account when I went to the Maldives because,
Yeah,
it was DEFCON 7. But,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that's
Now you always want to have, because obviously when we were driving around, we wanted to know where everybody was. So you can document,
how
but
many how deep were you guys?
it was 7 of us.
Wow.
Yeah, it was seven. It was seven. So it was a nice crew. The, so my girl's parents rented a car, so they had a car for the week. But we, like the rest of us, had ATVs. It was just three of us, three ATVs.
And you can ride the ATVs around town?
Yeah, That's all you drove. You drove that in the city, in the traffic, everything. Like it didn't like nothing. It was just you just, you know, people
Did
would
you
go
have to
around
drive
you.
on the opposite side of the street?
No.
Oh,
Greece is regular. Yeah, Greece is regular. London and then England, obviously, it's on the other side. But no, Greece, everybody was
that would
driving.
throw me off.
Yo, but there's like there aren't any markings on the road, bro. Like barely. Like people just know where to go. Like it's not even, like. But
Well, it's better than driving in India. You ever seen the how
oh
it is?
my
It's
god,
crazy.
dude,
It's
that
just
looked
it's
crazy.
kamikaze. It's like go for it.
Yeah, go for it, man.
It's
Good luck.
crazy.
Vaya con Dios. Vaya con Dios. But it was good, bro. We had a good time. It was really really nice. It was hard to come. Yo, when I got back, the jet lag was ridiculous though, because it's
How
seven
long was the
hours.
flight?
It's a 7 hour delay. Like a seven. There's
Oh,
7 hours behind. No, forward. There's 7 hours forward. So when we came back, 9 o'clock, we're like, we're sleepy. Like it's 2 o'clock in the morning for us. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
yeah, the jet lag was serious. That was the first time I actually felt jet lag like that.
How
Because
long was the flight?
it was a 10 hour flight back. Yeah, it's a 10 hour flight back. And that was painful, bro. I watched like 4 movies. I could barely sleep on a plane. Like it was crazy. And
You know,
normally I knock out. I'm out.
yeah.
But for
No.
some reason, bro, it was weird.
Yeah, when I flew to Austria, I was in the front row, but I had that wall in front of me, so I don't have good leg room. So my knees are like straight down, right? Because you got that wall
Oh,
that separates you from first
yeah,
class or
yeah.
whatever.
Uh-huh.
And it was I think 12 hours. I forgot how long. Yeah, it was brutal for my knees. I had to get up like multiple times to stretch
Yeah.
them because they were locked.
Yeah. That's when you got to get that like business class or
Yeah,
comfort or something. Like you need to pay extra for that because it's
yeah,
it's bananas, bro. It's bananas. But yeah, nah, it's good. I mean, it's good to be back. Just chilling now.
yeah.
Actually, just you want to let everybody know packages have started going out for the Kickstarter for Wonder Duck. So things are going out. You guys should be getting it soon. T-shirts went out first, and now I'm sending out the books and everything like that. So yeah, you should get yours in a few days too,
Yeah,
Sammy boy. But
nice.
yeah, brother. But what have I been missing? What have I missed?
Not much. I mean, um, your cheering section didn't show up for the morning brew.
Oh, sad.
You know, but
Man.
some of the regulars have showed up. But yeah, your fan base didn't come to the morning brew, but I'm sure they'll be back tomorrow. And I mean,
Back.
well, on Thursday. And no, the morning brew's been going on. The Crazy Town lesson was put on hold. I've been working on. I've been drawing and coloring and working on everything on. Um, the digital rewards for Disneyland My Toilet went out, and the church went out, and so now I'm just waiting for the proofs for the books and stuff, and hopefully they'll be going out the first week in August.
The books always take a little longer.
Yeah, man, it's
You know,
crazy. But
the
I
books
also,
always
I ordered everything through Comics Wellspring. I ordered the 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 um the bags, the boards, the
uh,
box, everything. I didn't realize they had it all in the inventory. So I just added it, bang, 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 bang. I used to go to Amazon and I just added it through the Comics Wellspring.
what the back and boards?
I got the bag and boards through them. I got the box, the what do you call those boxes?
The Geminis or whatever.
Gemini.
Well,
There you go.
Gemini's the company that makes them, but I didn't realize they
Yeah.
sold their own.
They
Yeah.
sold them, yeah, because it came. It says, "Would you like to add these following?" I was like,
I
"Oh
wonder
hell
how much
yeah!"
do they bang you for them? Like, is it a lot more?
It was around the same price.
It was, yeah,
Yeah, I didn't see. And then I used my because you earn points, so I
yeah,
used my I got like $20 off.
right,
But yeah. So
yeah,
that's it. And Disneyland My Toilet issue number 3 is fully colored.
nice.
Um, and um, and I'm working on the Monster series, which is a surprise for that campaign. And the official date is the 20th. And I'm also getting ready for 2 big events in August. I got the Arlington Comic Fest,
That's right.
and I have the Denton Comic Expo. So I got 2 events in August and 2 events in October. So
Oh yeah, that reminds me. So next Friday I will be at
terrific.
Terrificon. Yeah, I'll be out there with Aníbal and Jonathan. James DeSantis is going to be out there. Michael Grassi, I think, is going to be out there. Hector Rodriguez
Wow,
will
the whole
be out
squad.
there. Yeah, the guys are going to show up, man. You should have gone over there. Connecticut.
Yo.
So we'll be out there.
Nah,
We'll be
you
out
ain't
there.
supposed to be tripping, bro. You and your COVID rules, man. Did you have any
COVID
problems
rules?
in Greece?
No.
No, right? But New York
No.
acts up,
No,
right?
New York is fine. What do you
New York,
mean?
it's a bunch of knuckleheads.
Terrificon's not even in New York. It's in Connecticut. So what are you talking
Yeah, they think you gotta have this, you gotta have that. Shut up.
about? No, it's fine.
I don't want to hear it. That's why I like Texas. We did the big fan expo, 80,000 people. No one's tripping.
Yeah.
Everyone's just like, "Yo, live and let live, whatever. If you fall and you collapse, it's on
No,
you.
at this
Keep it
point,
going."
I don't think it's the same. I don't think it's as bad as it was. I know you have like this hate for New York for whatever reason,
I don't hate New York. I just feel like
but
the leadership is just went
yeah,
downhill.
they're good. Everybody's good. We out here like, if you want to wear your mask, you wear your mask, but it's not mandatory. Nothing's mandatory. They're not asking for any,
No
vaccine
passports anymore?
passports. No, that stuff, dude. That stuff was done, and at
Yeah,
this point, if obviously it's still out there and stuff like that. And I'm sure if you have, but we talked about this.
yeah.
You just gotta. Your immune system has.
That's it.
You have to be healthy. You have to,
That's what
wash
got
your
me
hands.
through Vegas.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, it's all about your immune system, and so as long as it's in good shape, you should be all right. But
Yeah.
not everybody's is.
No, but I
But
think it's time to get our medicine since we're talking about this
oh
illness.
yeah, let's do it.
Let's get the medicine, baby.
It's time for your medicine.
Why'd you call it quits?
When to
Hmm.
call it quits? Damn, dog. Like I go away, and you're like thinking about calling it quits. What's going on here? What's happening? What happened? What happened was what's
It's like
the
the
deal here?
Navy SEALs. You ring that bell, it's done. Ding, ding.
No, what is going on? So when to call it quits? So when to call it quits, Sam? What are we thinking? What are we
I
thinking?
think, it's funny because I was watching a lot of things and I've been listening to. So unfortunately, a lot of creators, they use social media as a way to vent, right? So you see all this stuff going on. I'm like, at this point, and then I don't post, I don't respond to all that stuff that they're putting out there. But I'm saying to myself, I think maybe it's time for you to call it quits. Maybe you're over your head. Maybe this is not for you. That's me as a spectator saying, yo,
Gotcha,
if you're gonna
gotcha.
spend all this energy blasting people and doing all this crazy stuff online, maybe you're not in it, for the right reasons, right?
Mm.
So I think for me, it's if you're not having fun, which is the most important thing. If you're not having fun, or if it's impeding your personal life, your family life, if it's encroaching your family life, I think those are the two reasons where if it's just not, it's maybe not the right time, or maybe it's just time to walk away.
Yeah.
I did, a decade ago when I walked away. It was financially, it wasn't benefiting me. It was encroaching on my family life. It was
Yeah.
time for me to step away,
Yeah.
and recalibrate, right? But yeah, so I think it came up because I've been watching. Every time I get something pops up in my feed, another creator is like blasting a group of creators or blasting
Damn.
this, and I'm like, man,
See,
dude,
that's the one thing I did not miss, bro. Like when you're disconnected, like that's the
mhm,
one thing that I did not miss is all the drama and all the
yeah,
nonsense. It's just we're here to create, we're here to have a good time, and it's like there's no need for all that stuff. Like
right.
or we're all human, we all go through stuff. Keep it outside of the
Don't share it.
of that. You know, yeah, exactly. Like if you're on Facebook promoting your artwork, or if you're on Instagram promoting your artwork, promote your artwork. And I think we did a show about this. To me, it's just promote your artwork on those. If you want to vent or you want to do personal stuff, then open up a separate account and vent on that account and do your thing. Like I have two different accounts, one for my own personal stuff and one for my work, and the two will never mix. Um, but as far as calling it quits, dude, I can't. And like you said, I think if it stops being fun, or if you aren't challenged, or you're bored, or this isn't, you realize, well, maybe this is a little too hard, and I don't really want to do this. Yeah, then quit, do something else. But I don't even think I can't see myself like just walking away from it. It's like ingrained. And even like for you, for example, you walked away, but you came back. It's like it's in you.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
It's weird.
right. I needed to research, but I learned a lot from back then. Even back then, I've never put anybody on blast on social media, even when we had forums.
Forums, yeah, yeah.
I mean, and that's what I'm saying. Is like people use, I think there's a distorted viewpoint. Why do you mix the two? Why do you mix your personal life with your aspirational, dream with your dreams? And I think because what it does is it shines a different light on you. And I think if you're constantly not happy, if this game is constantly stressing you out, then maybe it's not the right thing. I get stressed out from my own, not because of people, but because of the limitations that are in front of me that I need to, like walls that I got to break down.
Mhm.
I'm like, like I get inspired. by a lot of creators out there. How the hell did he do that? Shit, so I work harder. I try to figure that out. Oh, how did it get capture that look?
Mhm.
Or I'm stuck on. I have an idea for a panel, but I'm stuck on the angle. I'm stuck on. So those are the things. But I'm always constantly researching. But I'm not. I think, but it's still fun for me.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I get frustrated that I'm like, damn, I gotta figure this out. That frustration creates that drive and motivation. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? And yeah, I think I don't know. I just seen a lot of that stuff, and and I think the best thing to do is always because I'm trying to program myself to 1 hour a day on social media. It's a hard
That's
thing.
it. Just 1 hour for the whole day.
Yeah, 1 hour a day.
Woo.
Because what's happening is I realized that it was taking a lot of my creative time away.
Well, yeah.
It was bleeding a lot of creativity, and I'm more productive when I'm constantly creating. And I'm not distracted by social media.
Now, okay, and just to your point about creating, and I think that what happens too is like this thing will beat you up
Yeah.
if you're not ready for it.
Yeah.
It's like that wave that you're not ready for, and it knocks you down. It'll constantly beat you up. So you have to be ready to get beat up, and sometimes that'll make you quit. But to your point about the hour, it's tough because think about this, right? So right now, this is social media.
Mhm.
YouTube is social media. And I know that and for those who are watching and don't follow the show yet, follow it because Sam goes online every day to draw. And so if you're an artist out there and you're watching this show, you're like, oh wait, these guys do art. Well, yeah, Sam is an artist. He draws. So you have this 1 hour show,
Right.
right? During the day usually, where
Mhm.
people can come in and you're drawing usually a duty piece, right? The Darius, there's an alien in my toilet. So that does that count into your hour? Because
No, no,
that
no.
is social media.
I'm talking about when I'm surfing social media.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah,
That's when you're
I think
wasting
for
time
me, yeah, yeah,
online.
it's a
Yeah.
waste of
Mhm,
time because I
mhm.
realized there was a point where like I get up in the morning, and first thing I look is my phone, right? And I'm
Sure, yeah,
looking to
of
see
course.
what's
See
going
what's
on my
going on.
social media feeds, right? And I'm like, yo, why am I doing this? It's like, what am I
Yeah,
getting from
yeah,
this? I
yeah.
need to, I could be using my time well, why? Because what happens is it, there's this false expectation that you set for yourself based on what you expect to happen. But reality and expectation are two different things, right? So then what happens is you start looking through your social media feeds. Oh, well, how come I didn't get any responses here? Or how come they're not liking this? Or how much, right? And then you get deflated and you're like, oh, I got to come up with a different graphic or I got to go do this. All these things play in your head. And then what happens is I just realized I spent an hour and a half surfing this nonsense and I was supposed to work out and I didn't work out because now I have a clock and I have to go upstairs and start drawing and I'm already impeding on my time. And I was like, but I wasted my time wondering about stuff I can't control. I just need to control what I can, which is produce content, create my stories, share it out when I need to share it out, and that's it.
Yeah,
Without any expectation other than is this the best that I can do the day that I did it? That's
yeah,
it.
yeah. I listen, man. One of my mantras is expect nothing, get everything.
Mhm.
Because when you don't expect anything and you get something, that's when you're like, oh snap! Wasn't expecting that. But also, I think the other side of that same coin, though, Sam, is that because of what we do, right? So, like for example, on Thursday mornings we have the morning brew with the Crazy Crew, and we talk about current events. We talk about things that are going on. So we have to kind of research,
Mhm.
to see. We have to know what's going on so we can talk about what's going on.
Right.
So, but everything I think is like, and what you were saying is like you have to have a balance to everything.
Right.
You can't be so obsessed with the
Right.
likes, the comments, what that person's doing, what is that person doing, because it's all fake. Everything
Right.
on everything on these social networks is fake.
Yeah.
What you're actually seeing is the best of what that person has, but you don't see what happens when they put their phone down. You know what I mean? How depressed they are, how
Yes.
angry, and you see it. And some of these people can't hide it, and that's when you see the lashing out on social media, the anger, the
Yeah.
hate, and all that other stuff is because it's hard to kind of like separate the two. But yeah, I mean, I don't think that we should get down about oh man,
Yeah.
my likes or my whatever, this and that. It is what it is, man.
Because
Like
I think like there's this. I think like everyone knows if you're running a Kickstarter, it's one of the toughest things to do because it requires a lot of your time, a
oh
lot of
yeah,
your personal
oh yeah,
time,
oh
It's a lot of mental head games. It's a lot of follow up with people. It's all these things, right, that you don't want to do because you just want to create, right?
Mhm.
But you have to do because who
Right.
the hell knows who you are, right? Other than
Right.
your neighbor who says good morning every day, right? So
Exactly.
it's like, um, so that creates this again. It's the biggest thing I would say is what'll keep you in the game longer is eliminate the expectation,
Mhm.
right? Because what happens is stress, anxiety, resentment comes from placing expectation where it doesn't belong.
Right. Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? So take that component out and you'll realize how much weight you took off your shoulders.
Yeah. I mean, I think you have to eliminate the expectations, but keep your motivation.
Yes.
So it's like you have to kind of like forget about the expectations, but keep creating. Keep creating. I
Yes.
think Gary Vee says that all the time. Content is king.
Yeah.
You have to just keep putting content out, whatever it is you're
Yeah. Who
doing.
would have
Just make
thought that
sure.
I started doing the daily live streams during the Kickstarter and I did 45 live streams drawing.
Right. And now,
45
and now you have content. Now you have plenty
crazy
of
content.
content.
I got, it's like, in fact, for the new Kickstarter, I have so many images, right? I was like,
Right.
oh, I got this as a print and I got this as a print. I was like, oh, so that's what I started doing now. I said, oh, when I do my live streams, instead of just doing, I need to have an intent. What can this be used for? And that's like, oh, I have this monster series. I need to start doing monsters, right? All these things. So now I'm tailoring it.
Right.
But every day, because there was a period of like 6 days where people would just, hey, draw this, or draw duty as this, or draw duty as that. And like I did duty as the Brown Hornet from the Fat
Mhm.
Albert. That was
Mhm.
Joe D. McPhee who requested it. So it's like I think if I'm having fun drawing, that's the one thing I do every day that I look forward to.
Right.
Just go online, even if nobody joins the stream.
Right.
My expectation is not for people to join the stream. My expectation is to, number one, I'm learning when I'm drawing because
Yeah.
I'm using the
And you're
tools.
creating. And
Yes, I
it's
watch the
it's
video.
almost like relaxing, right? It's like
Yes, it's
it's just like
cathartic.
meditation almost. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm having fun, and I think that's the biggest thing, guys. And what I learned is, it's eliminate the expectation, keep the drive and motivation. Don't blame others. Focus on you. Focus on your personal growth,
Yeah.
and that's it. And just try to have fun. And so for me, I go, I find that when I eliminated surfing for nonsense,
Yeah.
it gave me more time to acknowledge a lot of the creators that are out there.
Yeah.
Right. So instead of me looking through, all this other stuff, I was like, oh, I this guy just posted this. Oh, that looks really cool. Let me comment. Blah, 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 blah.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it gave me more time to put at least encourage another creator out there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think at the end of the day, if you're not having fun, if this has become a burden to you, then that's when you call it quits. Otherwise,
Word.
Power through, man. Power through. Just find things that motivate you. Find things that, even within this, there's so much doubt that creeps into our minds because, we're not making the money that we want to be making. It's like, should I be doing this? Should I be doing Dude, and if you do have those doubts and if you've decided, yeah, this is not for me, then quit. But other than that, just keep learning, keep learning, keep creating every day. Just do something, do something. Talk to a friend, talk to a creative friend who does. Go to conventions, like there's so many things that you can do to keep yourself motivated to keep going. Because the 9-to-5s will eat your creative spirit alive, man.
Yeah.
And it's kind of hard to stay motivated when that happens. But surround yourself with people who are creative and positive, dude. Positivity is king, man. You can't be around these negative people. But when to call it quits? Never, bro. Never.
Never. That'll never be me.
No,
That'll never be me. That'll never be me. No. What movie is that from?
I don't know.
Say Anything.
Oh my God!
Remember that movie?
You went old school, yes.
I started working at United Artists Movie Theater when they were playing that movie.
Dude. United Artists.
All right, so I think we're gonna go to commercial break, and when we come back, we're gonna bring our guest in. So, why should you subscribe to Catch the Craze? Well, listen to some of our previous guests.
It's Monty Moore. I'm a 30-year comics veteran in comics, games, and movies, and you've been watching one of my absolute favorite podcasts, Catch the Craze.
You are watching Catch the Craze.
What am I listening to?
And you're listening to Catch the Craze.
Where are all the indies at?
A Catch the Craze podcast.
What are you watching?
I'm watching Catch the Craze.
What are you gonna do?
Subscribe now to Catch the Craze, the #1 show online for independent.
Have you subscribed to?
If you are an independent, catch the craze. Making moves on your own, catch the craze. On your grind in the streets, catch the craze. Join the movement, catch the craze.
What's up, buddy? Welcome back.
There he is.
How you doing?
What's going on, Mike? How are you, man?
I'm well. I'm hanging in there. You know.
You cut the hair.
I did. A lot has happened since we've last been together.
Yeah. What's up?
Well, things that are going on. I've got a couple things to talk about today. With
Nice.
On the show. One being Friday. I have an live stream extravaganza. Both of you invited, of course. 6 p.m. Eastern time. That's to celebrate the official release of Earth's Best Friends Volume 1, which is basically
Awesome.
an official product because every book I've made to this point has basically been all prototypes. So this looks like a full-fledged actual book.
Awesome, brother.
Art and everything, yeah.
Awesome. Well, let us give you the official intro. So for those who just joined us, we are here talking with Michael Gotti. Earth's Best Entertainment is his line of books, and like he said, he's doing something. This airs on Friday. So tonight at 6 p.m. Make sure. Now, where are you doing this, Mike? Are you doing it on your YouTube channel or
Yeah.
Where? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it'll be on my YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter all at once because of StreamYard.
Awesome. Well, and we'll have the links. We'll have the links in the description so everybody can check it out. But tell us a little bit about what you've been up to, man. So you finally got this thing put together, right?
Yeah.
And you call these other books prototypes. Tell us a little bit about what you've been working on. What is it?
Yeah. So Earth's Best Friends has been this passion project of mine for the last, long time, I guess you could say. I mean, it went through other versions before it got to Earth's Best Friends. I had an artist friend, Olivia, which hopefully will be on the show tonight. But me and her worked on this. We called it Siamese Ninja Heroes originally. And she was a lot of the, she actually helped me name some of the characters. And she actually is the creator of Dr. Quacko, who's the character I keep saying. We need to have a crossover.
Yeah, I love that. Wow.
So she graciously let me still use her design in my book. And so eventually, I mean, she was doing this pro bono for me. So eventually, I think it just became too much, and we had to call it quits. And so then I decided, well, how about I write a novel? How about I just take all the scripts? Because I had a million, as a writer, it's like you could do so much more than for the artist to catch up. It takes them years, but you could write a whole 10 years worth of scripts in the time, So that's essentially what I did. So I was like, well, how about I just take those scripts, turn it into a book, and then that way I don't have to go through the trouble of finding an artist or paying an artist, because at the time I couldn't really afford it. Mm-hmm. So that was 2019 when I decided to write that book. I had this awesome idea for like this big like, not finale, but I guess you could call it like a season finale, right? I called it. Yeah. But anyway, so I wrote that and then wrote everything leading up to it. And then when I released that as a book, the feedback I got was this would make a better comic book. so it's like, all right, I guess back to square one here.
Right. So wait, so you wrote that as like a prose book, Mike?
Yeah. So it was originally just like a regular like novel, right?
Yeah, right.
So it was like comic book, novel, back to comic book.
That is funny. How was converting all that stuff? Was it tough to convert, or did it translate kind of easily when you did it?
It translated pretty easily, but I don't know. Apparently, my writing style is more fit for describing things for an artist rather than an actual good read. I guess that's what people said to me. So you take feedback like that and run with it.
Right.
So, and I mean, let's face it, I did want it to be a comic book. It was just like, well, I don't have an artist. I can't afford an artist, so I'm just gonna write it.
That's like the struggle of the writer, right? Because you have all of these ideas, but you're
Yes.
at the mercy of hiring an artist to be able to do these things for you. Where did you find like where? So I know that you've been working with this young lady, but how did you guys meet? Like how did that come about?
So before I met her, I was actually doing this other comic book that called Untitled History of the Human Condition, which
Cool title.
the title alone just tells you it's pretentious, and it kind of was. I thought I was going to change the world with this weird format I was putting it in. And anyway, so I met her through on Facebook. There was like this group of artists and writers and stuff, and some guy put a million of us into a chat room and was like, "Hey, I'm in New Jersey. All of you should come to New Jersey. We should all get together." And we're like, "Dude, half of us are like across the country. We're not coming to New Jersey." But I met her in that chat room, and then I liked her art style, and that's just kind of how we got to become friends.
Okay.
And I hired her for a couple things here and there, and then when I pitched Siamese Ninja Heroes to her, she's like, "I love the idea. I want to draw these characters." Like, so that was just kind of how it went. But
yeah, that's amazing, dude. So tell me a little bit about your creative process, man. Like, how do you from idea to like putting it on paper to like sending it out to an artist? Like, what is your process when you're creating these stories?
Yeah, well, something will pop in my head, like a scene or something, and then I'll try to like flesh it out. I'll probably write notes at first, unless I'm actually somewhere where there's a computer or a notebook. Like I usually try to write things in notebooks first, but it doesn't always happen that way. For instance, when I did my Kickstarter for book 3, which pretty much became volume 1. All my backers are getting volume 1 now.
Nice.
It's just kind of like all of it transitioned into this. So part of that was one of my friends did the biggest tier, which was like, put yourself in the comic, right? And I was like, well, she has kids. And I was like, well, how would you like if I paid my artist to turn your kids into superheroes, and then I can add them to this entire story? At the time, it sounded like a good idea, but then when I actually sat down and I'm like, now I have to write an entire new storyline and somehow integrate it into everything that I've already written.
Right.
So I came up with some ideas. It was like the first thing I came up with was like, all right, it was like the first thing that came to my mind was her daughter has a name Phoenix, and I'm like, that's the coolest name I've ever heard. What if she had like the lamest name ever as a superhero? So like her real name is Phoenix, but her superhero name is like Ashley, right? So it's like, and then her sister would be like Sparkle Girl. So Sparkle Girl and Ashley. Because her real name is Phoenix. So it's like,
right.
She just has like a common name as a superhero.
So did you start like something like that? Is that something that you would like go deeper into?
And then from there, I was like, I put them in chapter 8, The Dark Sky, as like a cameo, and I gave them this weird language where like they say things that a normal 12-year-old wouldn't really say, like, now is not the time, sis. We mustn't be hasty, like something weird. So because of that, I obviously made them not of this planet, because that's kind of a trope that people don't talk right when they're from other planets. So,
right.
So I was like, all right, so they have these. So from there, I was like, all right, they're aliens. So then I have to come up with a script that actually, and that'll be, if I ever, with inflation, everything, I'm not sure if I'm gonna. I mean, I will continue, but I'm not sure if I'm going to continue right away. But it's like my next episode that I want to have my artist do is with them. Mm-hmm. So I had to write that script, and it was like, all right, so let's start with that scene from when the Dark Sky attacks the middle school, and then let's just watch what happens like after. While he's doing that, what are they doing? And they just like run into a random classroom, and the joke with them again is they don't actually attend school. They just go to school and like sit in the classroom, and the teachers just don't really notice. So like there's just a lot of like funny little things like that with them. And then we have like then they talk about a flashback to the first episode of Earth's Best Friends, called Tornado Trouble, where there's these bank robbers, right? So basically, I kind of retcon, and it's like, so now the bank robbers got away out of the bank because when they ran into the bank, they thought the bank robbers were the good guys in the scenario, and they fought the security off.
Oh shoot!
So they're like, all right, you know, we did good. Or Sparkle Girl said that Phoenix knew better, or Ashley knew better, and was like, no, you did the wrong thing here. You got confused. The security was the good guys, the bank robbers are bad guys. And so just from there, it was like, all right, and then I need some kind of protagonist. So or antagonist rather. My daughter came up with this character called Ring Boy that she wanted to incorporate into the comic book. I took her idea and fleshed it out a little better. You know, give credit to a 9-year-old when you can, but it was a 9-year-old character, you know, 9-year-old created character. And the way she wanted to use it, I couldn't really make it work. But I'm like, well, what if we made him the same brand of alien as these guys are, and he's actually like in love with them? So the joke is like, he's like, I've come down here to marry you both. Like, they're like, what? Like, you know, don't you know love is forbidden on our planet? What are you talking about? Right? You know, just yeah. So that's so I haven't sent it to the artist yet, but what I would normally do is I would break it up page by page. So I wouldn't send him the full script right away. I would just send him one page, because each time I read it, I tend to do my editing before I send it to him. So it's like, if there's any typos, or if it's like, well, I don't like that, how about I do this? Or I think I could fit more on this page. Let's combine these 2 pages, you know, stuff like that. So, and then, yeah, so then after I would send it to him, he would pop it back to me with the line art, and yeah, and then, you know how the artist writer process goes from there, really.
No, I got you. So like these stories that you create, for example, like, you know, these characters, Ashley and, you know, and her sister, do you create now the planets? Are these like real planets that exist, or do you kind of go off and create your own worlds and your own universes and things like that?
Well, I mean, it is Earth, but it's like an alternate Earth, you know, like Marvel does. You know, it's like alternate history, that kind of stuff. As far as planets go, I do have plans for characters actually going to like Mars and Mercury and stuff.
Oh, cool.
But I think I'll probably make up some planets too, just to kind of mix and match.
Yeah. No, that's
I haven't really decided where these characters are from yet. I just know they're from another planet.
Yeah. You know, it's funny because like Sam, for example, has a book about a character that's from the planet Uranus, right? And so it lends itself to a teaching moment, especially for young kids. And I know that your work is a lot for like all ages and stuff like that. Yeah. Are you looking to do things like that, where like, you know, you're kind of like educating the kids as they're reading about your stories, or is it more just, hey man, we just come in anyway, just have some fun? Like, tell us a little bit about that.
It's more about fun. I mean, there might be some moments that seem educational. Like there's this one line where in the first chapter, Tornado Trouble again, where Sky says, "Not so fast, evildoers," and then Fury says, "Really? You went with evildoers?" And he says, "What? It's an applicable plural noun."
Yeah,
you know, it's like it's little things like that, you know.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, man. I mean, listen, your stories sound like a lot of fun, and I know that we've talked about, you know, even like, because we do a lot of like, you know, all ages kind of stuff, and I really do. I really believe that more of that stuff needs to come out. Like we need to have more like things like that for kids, because, you know, I don't think there's enough of that stuff out there. Is everything you create for kids, or is it just like this particular story that you're creating for the kids?
Well, Untitled History of the Human Condition wasn't for kids, but I didn't know who that was for. My problem with that one was I didn't know what the demographics were, because I never really like there was like no real main character. It was just a dumb idea that I was running with for a while, you know. It was just, but I mean, it's funny because originally folks had said to me, you know, you should just, you know, you're so good with kids already. It's like you should write children's books or more kid-friendly stuff. And I'm like, no, but here I am.
Here you are. Exactly. That is funny, man. That is funny. What? So you said that you had a couple of things you want to talk to us about. So one is the obviously Friday night tonight, 6 p.m. Check out the live stream, and then what is the what else you have going on?
Well, the other one was volume one. I mean, it's I'm really excited about it. I wish I had like a physical copy to show you. I lost it over the weekend. It was a crazy weekend. So, but it looks great. It's got art from a bunch of different folks. Yeah. So there's the cover right there. That's J-Bot's cover, or Jay Vasquez. And then that's David Lentz that did the two characters there, BB and Sky.
That's awesome.
It comes out July 31st. It'll be on my website, earthsbestfriends.co, and it's all 9 chapters. So like, if you've been a fan of me, or if you followed me through this process, it's like I had book 1, I had book 2, I had book 3. This puts them all together in one package.
That's awesome.
And makes it look like a real book. Because beforehand, I had a lot of amateurish kind of covers and stuff going on. It was like a lot of just learning process for me, And I mean, not that I'm done learning. Of course, I'm still learning, but I've learned a lot over the last couple of years getting back into comics, and moving forward, I think I know how to make things look a lot more professional.
Right.
And that's what this is. It's a professional looking product, rather than beforehand. It was kind of like, well, it looks good enough.
No,
How many pages is this?
180.
Nice.
I just added one today with a new cover, which I'm going to be revealing on Friday. It'll be like a variant cover, because my friend Shane was really nice enough to be like, "Hey, I'll do a cover for you. I want to do one, and I won't charge you. Instead, I just want 2 copies of your book with the cover." And I'm like, done. That is, yes, I will totally pay people for copies of my book. Any artists out there who want to draw for me for copies of my book, let's do it.
By all means. That is awesome, man. 180 pages. That's a lot of pages, man. That is a nice thick book. So it's going to be available on your website. They can order it from your website. July 31st. That's amazing, man. And what's next? Are you working on anything else? What's the future like?
Absolutely. So like I said, I'm just kind of waiting on fulfilling my backers and stuff before I go back. But I'm also working on paying my artist, because basically he was doing this on credit for me. So I'm working on paying him. So I'm not going to start what essentially would be book 4 or volume 2 even until I have him paid up. So hopefully that should be sometime in the fall, and we can get back into production and go into debt all over again. Yeah, Gene Pedroso, he's an awesome artist to work with, and he's fast. Like, he gets me like line art, ink, and then color within a 4 or 5 days, all completed within 4 or 5 days. It's really awesome. And yeah, he's awesome to work with. He's like, "Hey, pay me whenever," and I'm like, "Dude, that's very dangerous,
Very dangerous. That is very dangerous.
You can pre-order right now if you're interested, or you can just wait till it comes out. But either way, it's there on my website and ready to go. So
I love it. Good for you, man. Good for you. But so what? Do you have anything else, Sam?
No. So are you using a print-on-demand service? How are you fulfilling the orders?
Yep, I'm using a print-on-demand order service called the Book Patch. Because I fiddled around with a lot of different printers, and the Book Patch matched the quality that I'm looking for. They do a great job, and because I'm going for a graphic novel rather than just like individual floppies, just going with a book printer is just better for me. I know a lot of folks do like the Kablam and stuff like that, but they didn't. Well, I don't like the way Kablam works, but I haven't tried other things similar, but. Yeah, I don't like the way Kablam works. They take too long for me.
I was gonna say that. Like, my biggest pet peeve with them is just the length of time. Like, if you want something, you have to order it like a month in advance.
Yeah,
it just takes a while for them to send you the stuff. And yeah, I agree with you on that.
Yeah. So where can people find out more about your books?
My website and Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff. I'm always talking about it and popping, images and stuff. But yeah, my website will give you all the rundown.
And what's the name of your website?
What's that?
What's the name of your website?
www.earthsbestfriends.co.
Yes. All right. So we're gonna give you the screen and give you elevator pitch. Why should people go and order your book? And so it's all you. Go for it.
So, Earth's Best Friends is a superhero anthology about various superheroes that get together and save the world from evil. It's a love letter to Saturday morning cartoons. So, even though it's all ages, anyone can enjoy it. Everyone, especially if you're my age and you grew up with Saturday morning cartoons. It's family friendly. It's great. It's a lot of fun. And it's a whole beautiful color and everything like that. So, it's a lot of fun. Great book.
Outstanding, buddy. Yes, Dab. Again, thanks for being on the show. I'm looking forward to tonight's live stream on your show, and hopefully all goes well, and when people take a chance with your product.
Absolutely, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yes,
Mike, thank you, man. Thank you. And listen, you're getting a little something from me in the mail soon. Like I'm sending out stuff, so I appreciate you supporting the Wonder Dog book, and I'm looking forward to getting your book. So be ready for that. I can't wait for you to ship me my copy. So
absolutely,
and everybody should check it out. Definitely check it out. Make sure you go to the website. The links are going to be below. And Mike, thank you so much, bud. We'll talk soon, though.
Yes, absolutely. Thanks for having me, guys.
All right, bud. Have a good one.
All right, so that was
awesome.
Michael, and again, another great show. And so check it out. Check out his website. The link is in the summary below. Find him on social media, chat it up. If you have any questions for him about his books, I'm sure he'll answer all your questions. If you have any comments about this episode, let us know. If you like this episode, give us a thumbs up. Share it with a friend. Remember, Catch the Craze has been around before podcast was a thing, and so we are the home of the independent creators, and so come and hang out with the indie creators, learn a lot about guys like Michael and all our other guests on our show.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's another good episode.
Yeah, man. And remember, we're still on the road to 1,000. So help us get to 1,000. Share it out there. Even if you follow it, share it so that other people follow the show and subscribe. And subscriptions are free. So let's get those numbers up.
That was the ending of Rambo 1.
What was?
It's a long road when you're all alone. Remember that?
Wow. Damn. You brought it back.
Rambo. Oh man, I love Rambo. I just watched Snake Eyes last night for the first time.
No, how was it?
It was good. It threw me off, because the story that you learned about before was different from this story. So yeah, it was a different twist on it. I wasn't too fond of Lady of Scarlet and the Baroness.
Right.
I thought that was just I don't know if they were the right girls for for them, but the guys, the master of the clan, she was an older woman. She was stellar. She was perfect for the role. Yeah. But it was good. It ended off with there's going to be a part 2, or it's going to go into the G.I. Joe series or whatever.
Right. I started following, and big shout out to Aníbal Arroyo who put me onto this guy. I started following this guy started to subscribe to a channel called The Critical Drinker, and he just talks about like different pop culture stuff and things like that. And one of the topics that he had on the show is why modern movies suck. And it's because they teach us awful lessons, right? Yes. And so he broke down Mulan, for example, right? The cartoon from 1998. Okay. Oh, and that the story.
I cried.
She goes into battle. She dresses up like a dude because to go in there but she's not as strong. She's smaller, so she has to use her wit, and she has to learn how to become this soldier who eventually saves the day. Right? She goes through the struggle. So they remade Mulan for today, and he said that while we learned about her struggle and how she overcame that struggle, in the new version of Mulan, she's already fast. She's already strong. She doesn't have to learn anything. She just is. Right. And so these lessons that these kids were learning back in, say, late 90s, even like when we were growing up, 80s, and in those movies where it's about struggle. It's about, remember the Karate Kid. Remember all these movies, right? They were lessons. We are not getting those lessons in today's movies. And that's why they suck. And I thought that was an interesting take on why today's movies suck. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, because and it goes back to conditioning with social media, because we society is conditioned for the 15 seconds, the 30-second reels. Everything's getting faster and faster. So you have to be on stage Now, no one wants to know about the sweat, blood, sweat, and tears. They just
Right.
want to see you on stage perform. That's it. Just dance for me, right? And I think that's what it is. I mean, all of it. I mean, look at Rambo. I mean, coming back from the war and his friends
Yeah,
are dead and
he's
nobody
always in
respects
struggle.
him,
Right, right.
and he's
That's good
disrespected.
writing. Yeah,
Yes,
that's good writing.
you
You
know.
know, yeah, that is
Um,
good writing.
I and it's funny because I liked I like Miss Marvel because it
I do.
starts off that way, but she learns too fast how to use her powers.
I agree. I loved the show. I thought it was a really good show, but I was talking to the nerds the other day. I just think it was all over the place.
Yes.
There was no
And the last
there was no
episode was rushed.
cohesion. Yeah, there was no. It's like she goes to Pakistan, right? In this flashback scene or whatever, and it's like, wait, how the hell did she get there? What happened to the grandma, and what happened to the lady who with the power, who the bad guy, the clandestine? Like they added so many things, and they jammed
They
so many
rushed it.
things. Yes, so it was all over. Like it was like they were just trying to. Well, I loved the character, and I loved her. Like she was great. Like
She's perfect for the
she's
role.
perfect. She's perfect. I like Bruno. I like all of it. It was just like you said. It was just too much going on.
Yeah,
At the
because one
same
minute the clandestines are her friend,
Right.
and the next minute they hate her and they want to kill her,
They kill
and
her.
then the next minute she's committing suicide to save everybody.
Right.
Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it didn't make any sense.
It's like they're just looking for shock factor, and that's the part. It's they have, and that's what pisses me off about Disney because they have the prototype for
They do.
success.
They do.
But for some reason, the new leadership keeps on bypassing everything,
Right. Right.
just for the sake of. I mean, look at the build up to Buzz Lightyear,
Mhm.
right?
Did you watch it?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
Build up to Lightyear, right? And everyone was talking about this coming out, but then because the new executive happens to be, a woman who's married to a woman, they added that component into the cartoon, and that became this whole thing, and then you stop hearing about it. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, can we just keep the essence of the cartoons and stop trying to teach life lessons?
Right.
Buzz Lightyear was always supposed to be just fun about the toys. Let it be about the toys and about the experience. I know this one's about life, but why did you have to bring all the life situation in it for something that you were building up because you wanted to make a statement? Not everything has to have a statement in it.
Yeah, I think, and then that's a whole other show too. That we can discuss that thing. But I think that part of where it's the instant gratification thing. I
Yeah.
think where you lose like a good story because you're trying to. Okay, I have 6 episodes. I got to jam everything in 6 episodes because we don't know if we're gonna get a second season. We don't. You know what I mean? Like where you're a big fan of Alf, right? That ran for what 5 or 6 seasons or whatever.
120 something episodes.
Right. So there was no rushing it. It
No.
was just and the way, and my thing is, when you put a show out, I want to know where it's going. Like even if it's per episode kind of thing. It's like Alf was the adventures of Alf on planet Earth. So every day every episode something new would happen, and there was really no continuity. You can pick up an episode from wherever, right? But when you're doing a show where there is some kind of continuity, then you got to keep that continuity. You can't just jump around because this would look cool on TV to do this, or this would look cool, or let's talk about this topic today.
They're acting like new production company, like a novice.
Like right,
It
like
doesn't make sense.
don't we have like writers' rooms where everybody sits down and discusses the
They
story?
The pre-production screenings where they do the edits before. Well, you know what? I don't like this scene. Get that. Change this. So what's happening in those screening rooms before they go, to the editing room? What's happening there? Why the Mandalorian was perfection.
I love the Mandalorian.
The Mandalorian was perfection. That's pacing, storytelling at its best.
But
and then they screwed it up with Boba Fett.
Well, yeah. But you know what? I think, and this is, I think the problem that Disney's having is like once they latch onto something, it's like, okay, let's use that. Let's use that because it works here. So like, for example, even in Obi, and I loved Obi-Wan Kenobi, right? But they still had that element of Grogu and the Mandalorian, where it was like Obi now had to be, the father figure to Leia, and that's because that works. Even now they did it with Thor, Love and Thunder. you know, the little like if I don't know if you watch the movie, but they're throwing that kind of thing in there. It's like, no, man, like that worked for the Mandalorian. Leave it with the Mandalorian. Like what I loved about the Mandalorian is that at the beginning of the season, at the beginning of the episode, we understood that this guy was a bounty hunter. Okay, he ended up with this baby Yoda, right? And now he has to take care of it. So now, will he be able to take care of it, or will he take it to where he's supposed to take it, or what's going to happen? And that was the plight of that season.
Right.
Loved it. I thought it was great. You know what I mean? Like I thought that was great. I know what the direction of this thing is. When you start going in different directions, that's when you lose me. You're like, okay, what's going on here? What are we doing?
Yeah.
And there seems to be there doesn't seem to be any cohesiveness in any of these, not on any of these shows. As good as they are, because the characters are great, they just seem to drop the ball somewhere. And you think it's going one way, and I think that they try to outsmart themselves. Just let the story flow.
For some reason, that no one knows how to finish a story.
Yeah. It's
like you know, they started off and they build that anticipation, and then they put it on fast forward.
Yeah,
it's
like wait, we only had 6. Like you knew you had 6 episodes.
Yeah,
you know you have 6 episodes. So
which is why I really enjoyed damn, I was just talking to you about it with the Chris Pratt series on
the minimalist or the something list. Minimalist, animalist?
No, not the middle. It's something
Terminal
list. The terminal list.
Yeah, I know it was a list.
It's 8 episodes. I think it was 8 or 9 episodes.
Okay.
And there was some chatter on social media, and people were trying to rip it apart because of the pacing. And I was like, look, this is psychological action drama at its best, and I left it at that. And I was like, and then it was like, yo, you're right, right? Because people this is the problem with society. If it moves too slow, they get mad. If it moves too fast, they get mad. You're not going to be happy, But what I liked about this, it moved well. It gave me anxiety when you watch this. You're like, oh, it's like, yo, why is he doing that? Oh, well, is he really is he the killer? You start questioning. It's like, yo, what's going on here? And that's what's made it good, because every day me and my wife had to stop. I was like, yo, she goes, my blood pressure's going up. And I was like, yeah, I'm getting anxiety. I'm getting mad at this guy. Let's stop it and watch it tomorrow, right? And so that made it, but we had to go back and watch it. That's the stuff that that you want to see, because it brings you in. I had fun watching Mrs. Marvel until that last episode, which I was like, what are you guys doing? None of this makes sense right here. I was like, 1 minute she's good, 1 minute she's bad, next minute she's good. Yeah, it's like, why did it have to have this? That final scene should have been played out a few seasons. They just rushed it. It was supposed to be, we want to get to this other world, and if they're going to destroy Earth. And
but that's what I'm saying. They added that stuff, and I'm like, it might be a little too late to be adding that element into the story. You only have like 3 episodes left. How are you going to close that out? Like, that's a lot.
I mean, you introduced this assassin team in India, and I'm like, who are these guys? Right. And then like, so there was no. It started off well with her and her story, and then they just opened up the whole book and said, throw all the characters in. No, you just screwed it up.
But it's like, yo, you have 6 episodes. You knew you had 6 episodes. But like, even at the end, and spoiler alert for those who haven't watched the ending, like when the kid comes up to her and he's like, oh, I was doing, I checked your genetics or whatever, and there seems to be a mutation. And I'm like, that's huge. Like, she's a mutant. Like, okay, she's a mutant. And she's just like, hey, it's just another thing. Let's get in the car and leave. And I'm like, wait, guys, what the fuck? What just happened?
Let's go get some chicken tikka masala. What the hell?
Wait a minute, you just dropped the bomb right now.
Yes, you dropped the bomb on me.
What the hell? I'm like, what the hell? But the crazy thing is, we'll keep watching. Like, She-Hulk is coming out, and it's like, we'll just keep watching. And
there's nothing on Disney Plus right now.
No, I don't think.
I watched the documentary. It was the first animated series, all done by an all-female cast.
Nice.
Directors, producers. What was the series? It was a girl. Forgot the name of it, but it was the behind the scenes, and the director, the writer, the producer, the editor, they're all women. And it was the first time a whole female team made this a film. Awesome. It was pretty good. It was pretty cool.
Awesome stuff. Yeah.
So yes, if you like this episode, give us a thumbs up. We'll be back again with other guests on the show. Don't forget, join us on the Morning Brew each week, every Thursdays. And yeah, this was a fun episode.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. We'll be back next week. I don't know what's going on. Right, maybe Tuesday, Wednesday. We'll do something, but definitely Thursday. We'll definitely be live on Thursday morning.
Yes,
So
we do
make
have a
sure
guest
you
next
check us
week.
there. Yeah,
We do have guests this week. Yes.
all right.
We'll
So
figure out if it's live or not.
we'll see you. Yeah, we'll see you. We'll see you guys then. Thank you
Yes.
again for joining us, and make sure you subscribe.
Subscribe. I'm Sam the Crazy Man Vera,
George the Dreamer Medina.
and we are. It's just easy. It's not.
Crazy. Acquiesce.
No, I was talking about my friend Acquiesce. I met him.
Say my name. Say my name.
Right?
This is what you were thinking? Oh,
He described me. He said, "I'm the." What?
Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze. To Catch the Craze. You are listening to Catch the Craze on Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze.
Candy girl.